All right, so starting from tomorrow, I am going to do something I didn't actually think I potentially ever would do, which is going to spend a week, at least a week, maybe I'll love it, let's see, but at least a week doing a keto diet, getting into ketosis.
So we're going to try measuring his blood levels now, before keto and after.
And before a delicious Chinese takeaway that we just got. So
today's Ollie's last day of carbs. We're going to do a little carb-heavy dinner here, and let's check your glucose before and after.
Cool. So I just push my finger against there.
Yep.
Then press that button.
Yep.
Don't look if you're scared of blood. 89.
89.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you eat much today?
Not really.
Okay.
No. Why am I doing a keto diet? I'm asking myself the same thing. I think the main reason is because I'm interested to see what it's like, to see what, I've had many opinions on keto over the years. I think it's fine if it works for you. I think there are a lot of claims about it which are unsubstantiated, but I hear some interesting things about it as well. I think it's just, if you're going to have a comment on something, I think it's worth trying it out and see how it, see what it's actually like.
But anyways, let's celebrate with a bunch of carbs. What do we got here? I just ran 2 miles, so a little bit. Got some curry, some rice. This will get our blood sugar right. All right, should we have our last carb?
All right. I love these things. What's in this?
It said custard. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's check out this picture.
The last starch.
Cool.
I'm excited to see how I feel.
Let's try.
I mean, I'm a bit nervous, I think. Alan doesn't know what kind of grumpy bear he's got himself into. We're supposed to be focused on a lot of work this week, and I feel like I'm going to be lying down for most of it. Okay, day 1 of going keto. We are doing the shopping at the moment.
Keto granola.
Keto granola. We've got nuts and seeds. We've got salmon, steak, yogurt, avocados, all sorts of things. Yeah, so for a closer look, we've got leafy greens, we've got blackberries, which are relatively low in sugar and high in fiber. We don't have too many of them. We've got far yogurt. We've gone for haven't gone for the 0% fat, so I'll balance out the lactose. We've got almond milk, burrata, love that, onions, smoked salmon, more salmon, lamb, steak, another onion, loads of avocados, bone broth, olive oil, garlic, lemon. Yeah, looking good. Okay, now we're gonna weigh ourselves.
147. Time for Ollie's first check-in, pre-keto.
All right, normally, obviously, when you're weighing yourself, clothes matter, but I'm gonna basically, I'll take the watch off, but I'll wear the same jeans tomorrow. So we'll do this every morning. I'm expecting 204.3 pounds.
Okay.
Nice. So I'm expecting a big drop in weight over the next few days because I'm going to suddenly stop eating carbs, probably get rid of a lot of water. But longer term, I am on a bit of a fat loss tip as well. So let's monitor that as well.
24 hours since we've had carbs. Day 1 of keto. So let's check our blood sugar to get started. I'm going to prick my finger. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 102. So pretty average blood sugar.
124. Okay, kind of high. So what's our first keto meal? What are we having?
Keto salad. We've got some eggs with avocado.
Nice.
And olive oil. Half an avocado.
Some arugula, or rocket as we call it in the UK. And some eggs. Yeah, good stuff.
day 2 of keto.
Yep.
How are you feeling?
I mean, it's like 3:45 in the afternoon. I'm feeling quite sleepy now, actually. I woke up this morning feeling good.
Okay.
Now I'm having a little lull, but I have those anyway sometimes, so that could just be like a mid-afternoon.
What do you think your glucose is right now?
Okay, what do I think my glucose is? I'm gonna go for 95.
And ketones?
Ketones,
Do you think you're in it?
0.2. What was I last night?
I think you were 2.
Yeah.
But we had some bone broth and some other things, so I think that could help.
So that would put them up.
Yeah.
Maybe 0.3.
You wanna try? Let's see it.
Yeah. Let's check blood first. Ah, 110 glucose. And can we do the ketones from the same? Yeah, of course we can. 0.3, there we go. 0.3 as well.
0.3,
Right, with me on the ketones.
So we gotta eat some more. Should we chug some olive oil until it goes up? We got some MCT oil too, actually. Try a little bulletproof coffee.
Where do we want it to be on the second day?
Well, anything above 0 is like starting to work, so
Yeah.
it's getting there.
All right, so we got dinner on day 2 of keto, and this is one of my favorite things to do with salmon skin. And then we've also got Chef Sharma, and then we got salmon, and then burrata, avocado, and tomato, and copywriting in the background. All right,
So-
ketones test.
Just had dinner, day 3 keto. Earlier I was at 0.6. Then we walked around a bit today. Had less sugar. I think we've decided to cut out these berries and other little cheap things. Then you went and had some chocolate.
I had 2 squares of very dark chocolate. Yeah, I was very well. I haven't eaten as much today either. I was feeling very, very low on energy, actually, in the middle of today.
Okay, I think we've broken the barrier.
All right, I was only like 1.2. Was it 0.2? I was.
You were 0.2. Yeah.
Yesterday
I think
or
that
this
was
morning?
5. I think that was this morning.
It was this morning. Yeah.
Okay, so I broke through to 1.2. First time above 1. About double what it was this morning. So maybe those MCT oil and butter kind of helped kick it off.
Yeah, you had butter in
I put a little bit of butter.
your coffee as well. I just had MCT or whatever, if that makes a difference.
Okay, what do you think it's going to be?
0.7, maybe. I'm not expecting it to be so high. 0.7, look at that.
Wow. Okay.
All right, it's climbing. It's
Yeah,
climbing.
right?
Yeah. How do I feel? I've been feeling tired, a little bit hungry, but not like craving carbs or anything. That could be tired. I don't know. Like that could be a I mean, it probably is related to the carbs, I guess.
What?
Having a little bit less energy.
Okay.
I guess so, because it's only been 3 days or something, and normally I have. I'm not a huge carb eater, but I do. I'm not low carb either. Okay, so it's day 4.
Day
of
4,
keto, isn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm just about to run off to a Zoom webinar, so we're just doing ketones quickly. We've just done some recording, had a quick bulletproof coffee, so I've got plenty of fat in my system. Feeling pretty good this morning. Feeling quite clear-headed. So, what do you reckon?
I think 0.9. What do you think?
I'm going to go with 0.8. I was 0.7 yesterday, was it? 0.9, okay, you got it. Nice.
All right.
Cool. Exciting.
How do you feel?
I feel, pretty good this morning. I feel good this morning.
All right.
Let's see, I'm interested to see how steady it is for the rest of the day.
All right, here we've got a keto taco. Not sure exactly what this is, but ingredients are keto.
Okay, so this is the 5th day on the keto diet, and we've just had lunch. What did we have? We had chicken drumsticks fried in butter, and the skin, so we've had plenty of fat, and more avocado. So we're gonna check my ketones. So we hit, where was I before? I think I was what,
0.9?
0.9, yeah. I really want to get over 1.
Let's get over 1.
Before I go to New York. I'm going to New York in 2 days. I want to be over 1 before I go to New York. All right. So feeling good. I feel like on a pretty even playing field now. Energy-wise and focus-wise. Come on. 1.3, get it.
Oh, nice.
Right. Nice.
Now you're officially keto.
I'm officially keto.
You made it.
Yeah. Okay, so I was 1.3.
Alright.
It's not a competition, but I am winning.
1.8. Oh, what?
0.4.
Uh-oh.
Have you been sneaking cinnamon rolls while I've been out at my hotel starving? Okay, day 6 on the keto diet, 6th morning, so let's check the weight. I was about 202, 203 when we began. And this morning I am 197 pounds. That's pretty impressive, 197.1. Yeah, so a lot of that's going to be water, but I think I have been, been in a calorie deficit for most of this week, so I think there's probably going to be some fat loss there as well. Now I'm off to New York tomorrow, so we shall see how long the ketosis continues. I've lost like 6 pounds. I'm feeling good. I haven't had any noticeable cravings for carbs specifically. I have had lulls in energy for sure. Like for a couple of days into the first like 3 days into it, I was feeling noticeably more tired in the middle of the day. But for the last couple of days, been on a really even keel, which is quite good. So now we're going to test ketones. I went over 1 yesterday for the first time.
Yeah.
Didn't I? Finally, which was exciting. So now we're going to test ketones before we chug a lot of bulletproof coffee, and after. Yeah, caffeine definitely helps. Is there going to be enough blood? Come on. Yeah. Okay, 1.1. Okay, cool. All right, so that's the morning. That's like basically a fasted ketone level.
0.7.
Ooh.
Okay.
And yesterday as well. I'm just a bit under. I feel like he's sneaking some candy or somewhere.
Well, yeah, let's do glucose now and see
Yeah.
if those are low. 74.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
So low ketones, low sugar.
98.
98. Okay, so I've got high, pretty elevated ketones at elevated. Well, I mean, you wouldn't call that elevated blood sugar, but it's higher than an relatively, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to drink this delicious tasting butter coffee. If you've never tried it before, I mean, certainly don't drink bulletproof coffee if you're trying to lose fat, unless you can understand that it might help you fast for longer, for example. But I've always thought it tastes very, very good, butter and coffee.
I mean,
What's not to
yeah,
like?
it's,
Butter and butter and
the
coffee.
only thing that make it better is like a bunch of sugar.
We can make an Irish bulletproof coffee with a shot of whiskey in it. That wouldn't be cute. My thoughts before were that just I still think you need to go into it open eyed and like know why you're doing it. You need a compelling reason to do it. Like, and Anne's got a good argument for it, with it being like quite a good mental exercise. A bit like fasting, I think it can kind of teach you your relationship. It can open your eyes up to your relationship with food. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be keto, strict keto going forward. But it's been an interesting experiment. I haven't had the keto flu. I just think if you're going to go into it open eyed, to make sure that you understand that most of the initial weight loss is going to be water.
Right, so you've lost 6 pounds.
So I've lost 6 pounds.
But it's not to get like super excited for, right? Because you know that's like, you didn't just burn 6 pounds of body fat, which I think is people get kind of thrown off by that, among other things. And
conversely, if I go to New York and if I have a burger on Saturday or Sunday, for example, that I may go back up like 4 or 5 pounds, and for the same reasons, that's not going to be body fat. But yeah, it was an interesting. We've done it in a very wholesome way, like I was saying, and I think I personally think that's probably the way to do it, unless you have a reason for wanting to stay in ketosis long term than more of these processed keto products.
Yeah, I think it does work. I think it's like it is useful for some stuff. Like I think if you're craving it, and you're like, oh, I really want a pizza, and it's okay, do I just give up on this altogether? Or it's like, oh, well, actually, can I have like a keto pizza?
Yeah.
And like check most of the boxes there, and like still stay within your macros and stuff. So I think it's pretty cool that they exist, but I think then people misuse that to be like, oh, I'm just having keto pizza every day instead of like, it's like a weekly treat or something. Yeah,
it does. But that brings me to I guess that's what I would say. Like, if you are on keto longer term and you are craving things like pizza and stuff like that, that's where alarm bells sort of ring for me a little bit. Then I think you've really got to ask yourself, like, what's your end game here? If you're doing keto to keep your blood sugar levels under control for whatever, there are many solid reasons to do it. But I think then you've got to start thinking, what is my end game here? Like, why am I in ketosis? I've got these cravings. I know what I found as a coach, like the more you have these cravings, you can push aside for a bit. You can put a plaster on the wound with a keto pizza for a bit, but the more they build up, the more likely you could be to just suddenly disappear in a vat of refined carbs at some point, never to be seen again, or to come out weeks later, back to where you were before.
I think there's a few interesting options. Yeah, I mean, I think one is from going to more like one meal a day and just being more focused on work. Like, you don't have to take as much breaks for food, and you're kind of more stable energy levels.
Yeah.
After getting to this point, so I think that's interesting to some people.
Yeah.
I think probably if you have high issues with high blood sugar or like pre-diabetes or something, I think you still need to be careful, like you're not just gaining fat and eating too much fat and stuff. But I could see that could be give your body a rest. I mean, there's these companies that are basically using keto diet as a cure for type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
And it just gives your insulin system a break for a few months, and you can recover that. So if you've been eating high blood sugar every day for like 30 years, I think it's a good break. So I mean, for some people that's been pretty powerful. And finally, I think it's like a good on-ramp to fasting.
Yeah.
So if you're just eating and then you stop for like 20, it's very jarring, but now your body's basically like 80% there. You already got the ketones that you would have if you fasted for a week.
Yeah.
So like fasting one, if you're just not eating for 24 hours or 48 hours or something, minus just like the psychological habits of it, like probably wouldn't really feel much. Which I think is kind of cool. Again, that's not like necessary for fat loss. Probably better off just losing a little bit every week for like 52 weeks rather than like a big push. But I do think it's like cool that you can do that.
But yeah, I guess with fasting, it's another thing you just got to kind of know why have a good reason for why you're wanting to do it, and it all comes down. A lot of these things all come down to what your goals are. You raised a really good one. If you're wanting to really put aside, to really focus on mental deep work for a while and not have to be sort of constrained with these appetite requirements that pop up, it can be really helpful. But then if you're a sports person or you're training every day or anything like that, you can still do it, but it's just going to be, it's just figuring out what your priority is going to be. And I would say also just you could compare the three, I'd say maybe the three big tools that people use for fat loss would be fasting, keto, and calorie tracking. Maybe. Let's say, there are others, but let's say these are three, we're just talking about fat loss here. And these are three tools that I would say all serve, they have kind of fairly similar parallels, even though the people sort of within them can sometimes be at loggerheads in some ways. But they all teach you to look at the labels, like we were saying. Okay, fasting is different because fasting teaches you to not look at any labels, not look at any food. Look at your clock, yeah. But yeah, the keto and calorie tracking both teach you to look at food labels. They both, keto would be if it's for fat loss, you're trying to find a calorie deficit, and calorie tracking as well, I think, can also help just basically, it can certainly be something you become obsessive about, a bit like with keto. If you have a bit of sugar, you freak out. If you're eating if you're trying to track your calories and you suddenly go above your targets for that day, it can be another thing that you could freak out about and get obsessive over. So both of these things are red flags you need to look out for, and find out which one works best for you. But they both sort of teach you to face the food that you're eating mindfully, honestly, without judgment, ultimately to give you a more intuitive, I think, relationship with the food and how it serves you for your goals, really. So we're going to do ketones one more time. Now we've had bulletproof.
Oh yeah, so we took measured our blood, drank some butter, MCT oil. Is it bulletproof? Bulletproof is just like this dude's like brand around it, right? But I guess it was originally like butter coffee or.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
he did popularize it, I guess, instead of selling it, so maybe it's fine.
Yeah. Call it bulletproof coffee. Yeah, Asprey.
Good. All right. You want to go first? I'll check mine. Okay. So before I was pretty low, 0.7. Let's see what it gets up to with the extra ketones. I think, kind of one of the myths about keto, I think, is like people think you just need to keep eating a lot of fat and butter and stuff. I think it helps, especially in the first week, to like bridge that gap and make sure you're not starving. But ultimately, you want your ketones to come from your body fat, unless you're super low body fat and not trying to lose any. But ideally, you won't eat that much fat and it'll come out from your body fat. But I'm at 1.2 now, so that's
that was up for 0.7?
0.5 more, yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1. 1.4. All right. So yeah, that's another topic. When you're in ketosis and using your fat cells for energy, it is a different thing to actually losing body fat.
Like a good analogy for that is like spending money. And I think using your fat, you have massive stores of it relative to others. Most of your calories are there. So I think that's like your bank account. And your other stuff is like your wallet, and you've got some cash, like glycogen and stuff. And so I think people get confused, like, oh, like my bank account money and my cash money are like different.
Yeah.
And so it's like going to a restaurant and being like, oh, do you want to pay with cash or like your bank card?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I don't know. It's like, oh, but like, let's say your goal is to try to get rid of all your money. You're like, oh, which one should you use? And like throughout it is, it's kind of all basically the same. Like,
I like that. That's
you can take money, deposit it back. If someone gives you a bunch of cash, you put it back in your bank account, it goes back up. Like if there's ATMs exist basically. Is I think the missing part in most people's mental models here, where it doesn't really matter which one you sort of spend from. Otherwise you're like, oh wait, I still have all my cash here. Let me just pay with my card. Which people literally do that. It's easy to also fall in that trap of like, oh yeah, and then you look at your bank bill and you're like, oh shit, like I didn't realize I was spending that. And so I think it's kind of the same and the opposite for your body fat. So your energy spending, is it from your glycogen or your body fat? But in reality, if you're trying to improve your total net worth or change your body fat, doesn't really matter.
All income is the same.
Are you paying with cash or credit card? Maybe there's like a 1% extra fee or something. But if that's what you're spending your time optimizing, you're missing like the big picture.
That's interesting. I like the 1% fee addition to the analogy as well, because there can be some negligible effects to look.
But that's not going to like make your really change the needle here. It's irrelevant to your thinking.
So cash is like carbs, and your bank account's like your body fat store. Cool. All right. Well, that wraps up. So I'm going to stay keto. I'm going to continue to eat keto today. I'm probably going to continue to be mindful as I go to New York, when I might have a hot dog or two. Let's see.